Hey everybody, welcome to another guest speaker session for MKT353 Sports Marketing. Really excited to welcome back and introduce our next guest speaker, Taylor Vogel. Taylor is an account executive with St. Joe's Athletics and Van Wagner. And I'm really excited for her as a recent graduate to tell you a little bit about her sort of pathway into the sports industry, and then hopefully can answer any questions. So, welcome, Taylor.
Thank you, JP. It's nice seeing you again.
Yeah.
It feels like I was just in your class yesterday, so this
Uh,
is this is
you know
great for
what?
me.
It is wild to think that I shared with the class earlier in the week that just a few years ago you were exactly where they're at
Yeah.
today, trying to break into sports and figure out what you want to do for your career and here you are, graduated, and so I'm really excited for you just to share with you sort of your pathway into sports. It's kind of I think it's a great story to tell and kind of show the students that getting involved can help you create opportunities.
Yeah, 100%. So, hi everyone. JP already introduced me, but my name's Taylor. I graduated from St. Joe's with a degree in sports marketing in 2024, so just 2 short years ago. I'm currently back here working in athletics while also pursuing my MBA in marketing right now. So just SJU all day, every day. My pathway into sports actually started pretty early. I was a cheerleader for about 17 years, so from the age of 4 to the age of 22. So I spent most of my life around sporting events and the energy of game days. So being in that environment made me realize how much I love sports and the atmosphere around them, which is what led me into studying sports marketing at St. Joe's. While I was a student, I tried to get as much real experience as possible. So during my junior year, I worked game days for the Philadelphia Eagles, while also being on the cheer team for St. Joe's and working at Olive Garden to help pay my way through school. It was definitely busy, but it helped me learn about balancing responsibilities and gaining experience really early for the real world. Um, so my senior year, I actually decided I wanted to quit cheer, and just focus on my career. So I became a marketing intern with St. Joe's Athletics. I helped with game day activations and on-court promotions during men's and women's basketball games. And that was really the moment when I thought this is what I want to do after I graduate. But unfortunately, there weren't any open positions with athletics right after I graduated. So I applied to a few different opportunities and ended up working as an inside sales rep at the Philadelphia Flyers. In that role, I was making cold calls, selling tickets for the Flyers and the Wings, along with suites, concerts. So it was what they call full menu sales role. So selling everything that the arena has to offer. So in my first 6 months, I was pretty successful. I sold around $144,000 in revenue, which was a great learning experience and really helped me develop professional skills. But during that time, I realized that while sales was a great experience, it wasn't where my passion was long term. I knew I wanted to get back to the marketing and activation side of sports. So that eventually led me back here to St. Joe's, where I now work in corporate partnerships with the athletics department under Van Wagner College. So for those of you who don't know what Van Wagner is, they're a leading sports marketing and multimedia rights agency. We specialize in driving revenue and brand engagement for collegiate athletic departments. We have about 50 schools under our belt right now, so we're getting bigger and bigger by the day. Um, so instead of selling partnerships myself, I'm an account executive, but I'm not in a sales role. My role focuses on servicing and activating the partnerships. So I manage our partners' marketing assets, things like in-game promotions, signage, digital campaigns, and experiences at the games. And I make sure we deliver on everything promised in their agreement, while keeping those relationships strong. So overall, my path into sports wasn't completely linear, but every step from cheering to internships to sales helped me figure out what part of the industry I'm most passionate about, which is marketing and partnership activation.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I always use you as an example of a student who sort of got almost too involved,
Yeah.
It was almost spread too thin, and I was always worried that you were just taking on too much.
Yeah,
But I think it was a great sort of, great learning opportunity for you just to get involved in so many different things
definitely.
that you were, when you graduated, you really, I knew you were going to get opportunities and you did. So,
Yeah.
what do you miss anything about working for the Flyers or the sales aspect of that organization?
Do I miss it?
Yeah.
Um, it was a lot of long hours. I would say I was working
Yeah.
over 100 hours every 2 weeks, so I don't
Right.
really miss that part. But the atmosphere, like at the hockey games, it was just it's nothing. It's nothing you'll experience. Like it's awesome. So I do miss that part, like the game day, but
Yeah.
that's the only part I miss.
Okay. Yeah, no, look, I think yeah, and I think it's important that you understand that sales may be the entry into sports,
Yes,
but
exactly.
you learn very quickly whether you're uh not that you're cut out for it, but can you deal with it on
Long
a
term, yeah,
day-to-day
long
basis?
term.
Because it is a grind, right?
It is 100%.
Um, so what's your we're gonna, and in fact, the timing of this, and that's why I really wanted to ask you to join us. Next week, we're going to talk about sponsorships, and so maybe give the students an example of what it means when you say activation. Like give us maybe an example of a corporate partner that's involved in St. Joe's Athletics, and how do you help sort of bring that sponsorship to life?
Yeah, so I'll give an example. Oh my God, there's so many. We have like 70 accounts. So I'll use Adam Home Services, for example. They're a little bit on the smaller side of like our contracts. But they do, I don't know if you guys have been to any games this year, but they are actually in charge of the 10K, quick play for 10K. So a random person that we select has 30 seconds to do a layup, a free throw, and a half court shot, and they have to make it for a chance to win $10,000. So that's all the sponsor. Like they have to pay the $10,000 out. Like that's all them. So that's why it's called Adam Home Services Quick Play for 10K. Um, Another good example I can use is Chick-fil-A Lucky Row. We just signed them a couple years ago, so that's kind of a newer promotion that we've been doing over the last couple years. But we pick a random row every game, and they get coupons. So they're little decals, and they're only supposed to be used at the City Avenue location. So it's driving revenue right to their exact location. Um, so that's another good one. And I would say, besides the activation part, our biggest partner is PFCU. So you see their logo on the court. So they're a six-figure deal there. They're one of our biggest partners. So we make sure that they're they're well taken care of. And then things that you don't see during the games, PFCU actually is involved in the university as well. So they get like email blasts out to alumni. We're actually trying to get them an RFP on campus, so people can use their ATM machines on campus. So it's a wide range of things that we do for our partners. So
Yeah. I you know, to the public, you work for St. Joe's Athletics. So
right.
when they see you on game day, they see you in the Hagan Arena, you're part of the athletics.
Yep,
But the reality is that you work for a third party agency. So,
exactly.
you know, tell the students little bit about maybe that dynamic
Yeah,
and what that means in terms of that relationship and how it sort of shapes your job and and your role.
100%. So Van Wagner is obviously a separate entity from St. Joe's, but like JP had alluded to, that we look like we're all one, like we're all one team, which is really how it is. We're all super, super close. We work all together. I work with comms, I work with marketing, advancement. Like we work with every department in the university and athletics. So we are very close knit. Um, I would say we have had a lot of turnover the last year, so that's been a little challenging. I don't know if you've all heard, but our athletic director is leaving in April. So I think dynamics are definitely going to be changed. But I don't think it'll be bad. We're just going to have to adjust and welcome the new person in with open arms. But yeah, we're all super close knit, and it's been great. They treat us like we are St. Joe's employees, so not that big of a difference there.
Yeah. Do you have any involvement in NIL? Like,
Yes,
does that get involved? Do you get involved in that
yes, we
even at the
do. We
sponsorship
just
level?
it's kind of a hot mess right now, for lack of a better term.
All right.
We're kind of just taking it one deal at a time. If a sponsor wants to involve an athlete in a social media campaign, we are more than happy to include that in their agreement. They just have to pay the athlete for their time and whatever they're going to be doing for them. But we're still trying to figure out all the moving pieces with that.
Right. If they do a deal with you and Van Wagner, they can use the athletic marks and logos. But
Exactly.
if they want a player to, let's say, endorse Chick-fil-A or whatever it is, then it has to go through your NIL program,
Yeah.
license whatever the licensing program is.
Yeah. And then the athlete gets paid directly, which is
Okay. It complicates things a little bit, right?
it does.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so we only have Taylor for a short period of time, so I want to make sure I give you guys enough opportunity. I know we have got a small group here today just because some of the other folks are over at the A10 tournament. So why don't I hear from I'll ask open up the floor for questions. So anybody have any questions for Taylor? And then we'll, kind of we can wrap things up quickly. So who's got a question? Evan, go for it, my friend.
With like the transfer portal and stuff now, how do you like market to or like how do you keep your sponsorships from year to year with the uncertainty of how good the team will be like every year and like continue to like build on sponsorships without like knowing if the team's going to be like good or not?
Yeah, so it's actually interesting that you say that. I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the team, but Deuce Jones got booted. We lost our head coach, Lang. So it's been a heck of a year. Most of our partners, they weren't too, what's the word I'm looking for? They weren't concerned. I think with the sponsorship side versus ticketing, like sales for athletics, I think the sponsors are more worried about getting their brand out there, and just making sure the fans get to see their brand every game. There are some, diehard sponsors that are like, oh, what's going on? They want all the insider, but they are mainly just focused on getting their brand out there. So all of that kind of doesn't really affect our line of work that much. So that's a good part about sponsorships there. But ticketing, that's where you got to worry a little bit.
And actually had a great year.
Oh my God, we had a great year. We
Coach of
turned
the
it around.
year, and they had a great sort of back half of this. Look, I think we really got a shot here in this tournament. So,
I think so too.
but yeah, great question, Evan. Ben, yes, go for it.
Um, what's something about the sports industry that you'd say people outside of it don't really realize?
Yeah, there's a lot, I would say. I would say the long hours. I don't think people really expect to work, weekends, holidays, all that good stuff. Like St. Joe's played on Martin Luther King Day. Like that threw me for a loop a little bit because I'm like, oh my God, we're playing on holidays. So I feel like people don't realize how much time and effort really goes into the behind the scenes of the sports. Like, for example, SJU game day. Nobody sees like our little marketing corner that we have. Emma's actually one of our marketing director's interns, so she knows really well. But we're running around like with chickens with their heads off, trying to get everything done on the back end for activations, operations. So there's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes that people don't see.
Yeah. Uh, Taylor, actually, it sparked a good question I had for you.
Yeah.
Um, Tell the students a little bit about sort of like the timeline or the run of show that you produce when you have an SJU men's basketball game and how
Yeah.
that sort of has to fit in with sort of sponsorship.
Yeah, so we we start 2 hours before the game, every game. So if we have a sponsor that has tabling in the concourse, I have to make sure that's set up. We also give them the Hawk's Nest suite, which is not really a suite, but we we made the upper level on the TV visible side of the arena, able for our partners to come and enjoy the games. So I have to make sure their catering's ordered, the Hawk's Nest suite is set up before games. And then we also have to give radio scripts to I don't know if you guys know, we have a radio broadcast at every single men's home and away game. So I make the scripts for that. We have LED rotation script I have to make for all of the LEDs in the arena. So I have to give that to our guy. And then what else do I do? And then for 10K, we have a waiver. So I have to go around and ask a bunch of people, hey, do you want to participate in 10K? Um, what else? I think that's pretty much everything. And then we have a meeting about 30 minutes before doors open with the script, and we run through the scripts. We go through any special events that we're having. For example, like the SJU basketball alumni came for one game. So that's a big organizing piece there that we have to walk through. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything, but a lot going on.
Okay. Who else? Anybody else got a question real quick? Anybody? Taylor, I guess I'll ask you a question. So Taylor, now in obviously a short period of time, now you've transitioned from a college student to now working full time.
Yeah.
What looking back, when you're reflecting back on your time as a student, would you have done anything differently? Would you have what advice would you have for a student today looking to break into sports, looking at now your pathway?
Honestly, I wouldn't change anything. I know it looked to JP like I was stretching myself pretty thin. But I do think it helped me in the long run because when you're in sports, you have to be able to be in a fast-paced environment and you have to be able to move quickly on your feet. Not every day is the same. You're going to be faced with different challenges every day. So I definitely think everything that I did prepared me for my role now. And I would say just for you guys, like get out there and network. If I didn't network, I wouldn't have gotten this job. Like my manager, Kevin, he already knew me because I interned. So that's how I got the job because he already knew me. And also with the Flyers, like I went to a sales, they had like a sales clinic at Wells Fargo. I met my manager there, shook her hand, introduced myself, and they already knew they had a face to the name already. And I also forgot to mention I did Flyers grassroots marketing, which
Mhm.
basically I went to, this is while I was in college as well. I went to different card shows and stuff around the city, and we got email leads for the Flyers. So that was another thing, like their marketing team introduced me to the manager, and then so definitely just getting out there, getting your face out there, and networking is very, very important.
Awesome. So, if any of the students want to get in touch with you, best way to do that, is it LinkedIn? Is it
Yeah, LinkedIn for sure. Yep.
stalking you at the Hagen Arena?
Or that too. Yeah. I'm always there.
Okay. Well, Taylor, I know you had a short period of time here, so I do appreciate you sort of just popping in on on our session here today. So sort of best of luck with the rest of the sort of this basketball season, and I'll be in touch with you soon.
All right. Sounds good, JP. Thank you, everybody. Have a
Thanks,
good one.
guys.